New from K-Tel Records, 22 explosive hits.
Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie, broadcasting from an undisclosed location in Orange County, California. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to tell you about a couple releases by Elvis Presley from the Follow That Dream label. This is not a bootleg label. This is officially sanctioned by RCA and the Elvis Presley estate, and they put out quite a few releases every year. In fact, all of his studio albums have had expanded editions. And what they do is they remaster the original album, then they add all the other recordings maybe from that time period, and then add loads of alternate takes. Now, normally they're 2 CD affairs. Some of the soundtracks have been a single disc, but normally everything else are 2 CD releases. But there have been a few where they've expanded even the existing 2 CD version. And I'm going to tell you right now about the Potluck Sessions, an incredible set that not only features the Potluck album, but it features the singles recorded around that time, things that did not make the album, plus 4 CDs of outtakes. Incredible. Now, there's not any unreleased songs, but a lot of these are unreleased session takes. Now, here's what you get inside this Potluck Sessions set. You get a booklet that has the original album cover there, and of course has a single sleeve on the back. And then you get all this information in there. It tells you about the sessions, plus advertisements and session notes and everything from the period. Really, really fantastic. They really go all out on that. The actual release itself, containing the CDs, features, these look like, the original tapes that they recorded everything on, and then it folds out, and it contains 5 CDs in there. Really, really magical stuff here. If you're into like those Beatles, expanded box sets, these are not remixed in terms of the original albums. But this even gives you more bonus tracks than the Beatles sets do. Just look at all that material you get there. It's really fascinating because you get to hear songs like, let's say, Little Sister or Marie's the Name, His Latest Flame, where you hear the early versions of the songs. You actually hear, the first time that Elvis and the band are going through the song, and it sounds completely different than the finished recording. But if it's got 2 or 3 different versions, you're hearing as Elvis and the band really come together and figure out an arrangement, figure out a feel, and it's wonderful. I highly recommend the Potluck Sessions. Now, another thing that Follow That Dream does is they have occasionally put out releases of albums that don't exist, lost albums. And they did it with an album called Guitar Man. They did it with an album called Memphis, Tennessee, and those are 60s recordings, basically A-sides, B-sides, maybe a couple soundtrack things that could have made an album, but was never released because, Tom Parker was never making any good decisions in regards to Elvis's music. And then there was also one called Standing Room Only, which was an album from 1972 that was supposed to come out and never did. That would have had Burning Love on it and American Trilogy. It would have been a mix of studio and live, and that never came out. But I believe this is the 4th, or maybe I might be missing 1 or 2, but this one is called Devil in Disguise, the Lost album. Now, the original idea using these songs and creating a lost album originally happened in 1990 when they released an album called For the Asking. But this combines songs basically from the early mid 60s, and there's, I think, a couple songs from 67 or something. But again, disc 1 basically consists of the lost album, so all the tracks such as A-sides, B-sides, album tracks, all gathered together, creating an album that never existed. And this is a 3 CD set, of course, contains a great booklet where you get loads of pictures and ads and notes and session notes and lots of things there. So that's full of information that'll keep you occupied for a little while. And again, you get session tapes that spread over 3 CDs, and really a fabulous set. Whatever they do on FTD, which is Follow That Dream, fantastic. I don't buy the live albums generally. I think I'm going to buy the Aloha from Hawaii. But generally, I stick to the studio stuff because that's, in my opinion, where the magic really happened. That's where I believe that Elvis excelled. And I highly recommend you check out anything on the Follow That Dream label. You can't get them in normal stores, but you can go to like shopelvis.com or graceland.com and order them. They're not super cheap, but they are worth your while if you're an Elvis fan. If you have not invested in anything on this label, I highly recommend you to check it out. Now, I don't think I can show you any sound bites. Otherwise, this video might not be allowed up on YouTube. But definitely check them out. I'm sure that they're all over YouTube. Just type in Elvis Presley, FTD, or Follow That Dream label and see if you can find something. Definitely recommend getting anything off the label. I appreciate you for sticking around, allowing me to talk about these releases. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.